Looking for the best routine to train for the Marines? Watch this.
Our next caller is Brian from California.
Brian, what's happening? How can we help you?
Hey guys, how's it going? Hey, I just want to start off by saying, thank you guys so much for everything you do for the fitness community, and it's a real pleasure to be on your show with you guys.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, thanks.
So I sent in my question was about like reconditioning for going back into the military. So just a little bit of background. I got out of the Marine Corps in June of last year. I got really big into bodybuilding style workouts, and just being in the gym is a really big hobby, and I can't go a day without it, honestly. And recently I got with a coach to kind of help me get a physique that I really want to get, because growing up, I was kind of the chubby kid and I didn't really have like the best looking body. And, I really want to try to obtain that. And he's been helping me out a lot. He's been really good. But transitioning from that, going back into training to do stuff, for military training, like training for the PFT and the CFT. I'm just a little confused on what I should do as far as like maintaining a goal to reach a physique, but also training for performance at the same time. I'm a little confused on what I should do, like how often I should train, or like what I should incorporate exactly into my weight training.
Yeah, well, I need more answers. I got some questions actually to help me give you better advice. Are there tests or something that you need to pass for the Marines, or are you just looking for overall combat fitness and readiness?
Well, so there are fitness tests that you have to pass on. They're actually a yearly qualification. So the PFT it's a physical fitness test. It consists of a 3-mile run, pull-ups, and crunches.
Okay.
And there's also the CFT, which consists of a 800-meter run, or more of a sprint, ammo can lifts, and maneuver under fire, which is kind of like an obstacle course that tries to simulate combat situations.
Okay. Are you worried about not passing those, or do you feel like you could pass them no problem?
No, I know for a fact I can pass them no problem. Where my dilemma kind of is incorporating that type of training with weight training, trying to get a physique, if that makes sense.
If you think you can pass no problem, you actually don't need to
you're fine.
train that way that often.
Too concerned.
Maybe I would incorporate it bi-weekly, just to make
twice a month.
Just to check back with yourself to make sure that you still got it.
Right.
But you could really shift most of your focus, in the kind of bodybuilding direction, since that's your primary goal, right? Like you're trying to build this aesthetic physique that you're looking for. And as long as you feel like you've got what it takes to pretty much pass that test, I wouldn't worry too much about training a specific way to be great at that test. Like as long as you can pass that test.
Yeah, there's nothing to change if you could pass it. I would just, like Adam said, practice it a couple times a month, just so you got it. And just in case, that's kind of like the canary in the coal mine, like, I didn't do the run well, then you got to do more running.
Yeah, and then leading into closer towards, these tests, like you can always like do like a month out. Like this is where we try to peak up like conditioning for getting into season for athletes. Like you can treat it like almost a season where, if you can time it appropriately, you adapt very quickly back to endurance. So that's something that you can sort of scheduled out, so the majority of your time training can be focused around hypertrophy.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, twice a month, test them out. Or if you want to put it in your routine, I would do one of the tests once a week and then lift weights 3 or 4 days a week. I mean, if you're looking for a structured program that's going to give you all of that, MAPS Performance would be the best, because you're going to get the bodybuilding from it, but you're also going to get the athletic performance aspect in the program that should take care of all that other stuff. So are you following any MAPS programs?
I was following Split for a while. I just finished doing it for like a second time because I kind of wanted to jump into, like I said, I was transitioning back into getting ready for like the testing. So I'm not really following a program right now.
Yeah, let's do MAPS Performance. I think you'll like it.
How long do we have till when you go back?
So I signed my most of my paperwork yesterday. It just depends on how long it takes to get sent up to the CO and all that good stuff. So he said he's looking 1 to 3 months until I'm off again.
Okay. Now, will you know like a couple weeks or a month in advance when you're about to?
Yeah. So once I get the orders, he said it'll take like 1 to 3 months to get the orders. And then after that, it'll probably give me a time on the actual orders when I have to report to my next duty station. So the last time that I reported to a duty station, they gave me like 2 weeks. So I know for sure that that's like the least amount of time I'll have.
And you'll get at least that when you actually get the. So it sounds like you're going to have at least 3 months of training before you even have to potentially go in, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I mean, in that case, I would actually run more like a MAPS aesthetic program, and then transition the lot like Justin's saying. I need to in 2 weeks' time. Okay, you know why like sports teams like all through high school, college, even professionals, they have like what they call Hell Week. And that week they train crazy hardcore endurance, many times do double days. And the reason why that's been effective for so long is because of what Justin said, is like your cardiovascular endurance, you can improve that like daily. It's not like building muscle. It's totally different. And so you can literally have a couple weeks before it's time to do that. And if you were kind of lagging on the running part or whatever because you've been training so focused on bodybuilding, you could ramp that up in the last 2 weeks, like literally by picking up runs every day. So, I mean, if you really wanted to do the aesthetic thing, I mean, Sal's right, like performance, you're still going to build a good aesthetic body while also building some endurance in there, because that program's written for that. But aesthetic is heavily focused on sculpting. I mean, it's all about, developing your body aesthetically.
If you had trouble passing the test, our advice would be very different.
That's right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know lots of guys that they bodybuild, but at the drop of a hat, they can be quite athletic and have decent stamina. And so it's not an issue. But then I know other people who train like bodybuilders, and you ask them to run down the block, and
they'll tear all their muscles.
Yeah, and they can't do it. So, but the fact that you can pass those tests now and it's not an issue, you're not really in any emergency, got to change my programming, type of situation. So I hope that helps you out.
No, yeah, it definitely does. Because I was just getting a little stressed out, with the programming, because I am so, I just like having like a schedule and what I like knowing what I'm doing next. So I think that's why I was kind of getting a little worried and stressed out about something like that.
All right. Well, which one do you want? Do you want aesthetic or performance?
Gee, I don't know.
You'll get both. I'll send both to you. You took too long, so I'll give you both of them.
All right. Well,
that was strategic. That pause right there. I like that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's a hard choice because they both sound awesome. But I mean, I'll take your guys' advice no matter what, because I've been listening to you guys for a real long time now, and like I said, I really appreciate all the advice and all the you guys have built me up as a person cool. A lot more than I used to be, because I used to have a lot of like body image issues, and you guys have really taken me out of that mindset and put me in a better spot.
That's thanks to you for serving us. So
there you go, brother.
That's our gift.
You go defend us and you put your life on the line for us, so it's the least we could do. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Thank you guys so much again for everything.
Thank you, Brian.
All right, man.
Yeah, it's overthinking.
Yeah.
Overthinking. A lot of people, and I know, I'm sure you guys do too. I know people that train like bodybuilders, and if you tell them to go play some basketball and they can pick up, play a game, and they're not like super basketball players, but they're fine. They're not going to die. And then I know, people who lift, and you ask them to, to bend over and tie their shoes, and they pull a muscle. So it's very different.
Well, usually those guys didn't really have much athleticism.
That's a big genetic component, right?
Yeah, if you weren't athletic in the first place, and then you turn into a massive bodybuilder, trying to go do something athletic,
it's even worse.
You're just a muscular,
I think
non-athletic.
that has a lot to do with it too. I mean, I used to
plus he's 22.
Yeah.
When I was 22, it's like I could just bounce from one thing. Now I'd have to train.
Well, and what you said, I think, is the most important point, was because you said you could pass that test easily, we're not concerned about it.
No.
It's just, if you would have been like, oh, I'm a little worried, or, I failed it before, or I'm barely making it. It's like, dude, you're going to be fine. Especially if you're training, like MAPS aesthetic, you get into phase 3 and you feel like you're doing cardio a bit.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's just
your
it.
heart's racing.
Forget that. Just go do a set of 25 reps in the barbell squat. Tell me you don't feel like you're gassed,
so you definitely build a little bit of stamina in phase 3 of aesthetic, so he could literally follow that. And then, like, let's say he gets his papers and it's like, hey, 2 weeks you got to report. Those last 2 weeks,
Hell week, here we go.
Yeah, go hit run.
Go do the exact test like 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and then you be there, man. So it's incredible how fast you can improve that.